Hello, lovely people. You are welcome back once again to Jorit Academy, and I want to congratulate you all for how far you have been with us. This is the lesson 5 for our journey through the mastery of Microsoft Excel. Now, please, if you are new to this channel, I plead with you to kindly subscribe to us as a form of support. And if you have already subscribed, don't forget to like this video if you find it useful, and share to others for others also to benefit. Then you can give us your comments of how you want the program, or what you want us to do for you. Okay, so in this video I'm going to teach you how to manage your worksheet. So in this particular lesson we are going to learn how to navigate through our worksheet, then how to change our worksheet name, and then the color of the worksheet. We also learn how to add and delete sheets, how to hide and unhide sheets. Then we move to how to move and copy sheets. Previously we learned how to move and copy data or cells, but today we are going to deal with sheets. So how to move sheet, how to copy sheet. We already know the difference between moving an object and copying an object. That was in the previous lesson. Then we will move further to learn how to view our worksheet. There are so many view options that we are going to learn in this particular lesson. Then after that, I'll conclude it by teaching you how to save and then open a workbook. So I plead with you to watch this video to the end, and you are going to enjoy it. Okay, so now let's start. Now with the first session, we are going to learn how to navigate through our worksheet. Now in the old version, that is from 2010, no, this 97 there, about the old version of Excel. The moment you open a new Excel workbook, you are going to see three default sheets. But in the current versions, you are going to only see just one sheet. So if you're seeing three sheets, it is not anything new. It is because it's an old version. Okay, so because we want to learn how to navigate through our sheet, so I just want us to create a new sheet. So if you want to create a new sheet, this is a sheet here. So we're going to see the plus sign here. You just need to just hit on it to add new sheet. So you can see that the first sheet was sheet 1, so the next sheet will be sheet 2, sheet 3, in that order. So you can create more sheets. Also you can select 2 or more sheets. I taught you how to select 2 or more sheets at the same time by clicking on Control, then you click on the sheets that you want to group. So you can see that there's the group, the name has been changed to group. So 4 sheets have been grouped. So with this 4 sheets, okay, before that we'll go there. So let me go further from there. Okay, so let me create more sheets so that we'll learn how to navigate through the sheets. Okay, so let's see. So you can see from here that we are having more sheets. There are many, there are plenty sheets, like sheets, plenty sheets here. And we have, I think, about 11 or so sheets. So let's say we are working on sheet 1, but now we are in sheet 6 here. This current sheet is 6. So let me write something here. This is sheet 6. Okay. Let's say we are working on this particular sheet, but we want to move to sheet 1. Now if you look through the sheet, you are going to see that there's no sheet here. There's no sheet here with sheet 1. That means that sheet 1 has been hidden. So we are going to learn how to navigate to that sheet. So you see that there's a three dots here. So when you click on these 3 dots, it will move you to the hidden sheets one after the other till you get to the sheet that you want to view. So you can see that now our sheet 6 is now hidden. So if you want to get there, you just click on that 3 dots to get to sheet 6. You can also use this particular icon here. So just click on it. It will move till you get to till you see that sheet 6 is now visible. Just click on it to select it, or you can just move this one to get back to sheet 6. Okay, you can also right click, that is the at this section, you can just come place your mouse pointer at this section here. Then you right click, then you select the sheet that you want to navigate to. Maybe you want to navigate to sheet 11 because sheet 11 is not visible here. Okay, sheet 1 is rather sheet 1 is not visible here, so we want to go to sheet 1. So you navigate and then select sheet 1, then hit on OK. So sheet 1 will now be selected. So that is how we navigate through our sheet. Okay, so now let's say you are working on this sheet, you just want to give it a name. So this name, we want to give it a name. We want to name the sheet. So by default, it will just give you sheet, then you add a number to it. But you want to differentiate between the sheets, so you can just select the sheet that you want to rename. You right click and you go to rename. Then you enter the name that you want to add. So you can say my data. You can say my data 1, something like this. Then you see that if you hit on enter, the name will now be changed. So that is how we can rename your sheet. Now we can also give our sheet colors. So you can select a new sheet, you right click and then you go to tab color. So when you go to tab color, you can see that there are so many colors here you can select from. So any of the color that you want, you can just select and then it will take effect. You can also, same way, you can also go to more colors. Click on more colors. They give you an option to select any color that you want. So you can just select the color, then you hit on OK. You can go to custom too, then you just select the kind of color that you want to use. If you're okay with that, then click on OK. Then the color will now be affected. Okay, so let me go there again. So type color, more colors, and then select this one. Then you move the cursor to the section. Okay, so anytime you are, so make sure the new color is selected. The new color, the color you want to select is appearing here. So let me say I want to select yellow. So yellow is appearing. So you can navigate through the shade and the tint of it. So if you want the yellow to be deep, you can just bring it down. If you want it to be light, you can just scroll it up. That's how you can just use your colors. You can also change the color format. You can use the HSL, so by default is the RGB, which is a popular one. So you can change it and use HSL, then you use it, but that will not change the color. It will just give you an option to change the color numbers and then you're good to go. So if you're okay with the color you select, just click on OK. The color will be affected. So that is another way of renaming and then giving our sheet colors. Now it may be a sheet that you don't want again. You just want to delete the sheet. You just want to remove the sheet. So just select the sheet. You have selected sheet 4. You right click, then you go to delete. Just hit on delete. Sheet 4 will now be deleted from your workbook. And the same way, if you want to add sheet, you just go to plus and then you add it. Now maybe you want to add sheet apart from the plus sign. Click on the plus sign to add more sheet. You can still add more sheet in a different way. Now let me show you. Let's say you want to, this particular sheet, you want to duplicate it, or you want to create a new sheet. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to click on control, then you left click and you drag. So the moment you left click and you start to drag, you are going to see that it is now the cursor, or there's a small rectangular shape like a paper with plus on it. This shows that it is now going to add a new sheet. So that sheet icon is now be moving. But the moment you remove your hands from the control key, you are going to see that the plus sign has disappeared. Let me place my hands on it again. I can see the plus sign is there, but if you remove it, the plus sign will go. This shows that the moment you release your mouse, the moment you release your mouse, your sheet is not going to copy it, but it's not rather going to move. So it will move to where the small arrow is. So you can see that the small arrow is between sheet 2 and sheet 3. So if you leave it, that means your data, your my data and my data 1 will now move from the first position to be in between sheet 2 and sheet 3. Okay, so if you can still move it back with the same method. But if you click, you left click and then you click on the control key, the plus sign can, so anywhere you leave it, if you leave it at this section here, see that the arrow is between the my data 1 and sheet 2. So if you release your mouse, you see that it will create a new sheet with the same name of the previous sheet that you copied. Are you following what I'm trying to say? So if you want to copy, if you want to create a new sheet, that is, if you want to copy a sheet, not just creating a new sheet entirely, but copying an existing sheet, you use the control plus the left key, then you drag. You click on control and the left key together, then you drag to anywhere you want to place your this thing, your sheet, then you just release it. So that is what, that is another way of what. You can also copy 2 or more sheets the same way. You click on control, then you click on the sheet that you want to copy. Now we have selected 3 sheets that you want to copy. So the same process, control, left click, control, left click, then you drag. So the moment you drag, you are going to see that the plus sign is there. So when you leave it, it will now create the copy for you. So you can see that it has created these 2 sheets and also a copy of it here. I hope you are following what I'm trying to say. So that is how we can copy sheet. Now you can see that we just copied the sheet, but we did not move the sheet. The first one we did what, we moved the sheet. So the moment you move the sheet will now move from one position to another. Now maybe you also have another way of moving the sheet to a new destination. That one too, let me show you that. You are going to click on right click. You right click, then you go to move and copy, or move or copy. So just click on it. Now it will give you an option of the sheet in this particular workbook that you have opened. But maybe you want to move the sheet to a different workbook. That means you need to open a new workbook. So the moment you open a new workbook, you're going to see that it will be part of this list here. But now only one book is open, so you can see that the book 1 is now here. So if you click on, select this book 1 and you click on OK, it will not create a copy because you have not selected this. It will just what, move. It will what, move. So it will move to the location where you want it to be. You want it to be before any sheet that you want to select. So let's say you want this particular sheet, that's my data 1, to move to after sheet 3. So before sheet 3. So it will come before, so it will come in between my data 1, 4 and sheet 3. So it will come in between them. So it should be before sheet 3. Okay, so we are moving, we are not copying, so we are moving. So it will move entirely. So let's click on it. So you can see that there's no more here, but you can see that it's now at this new destination. Now we now want to copy. That means we are going to create a copy of it. So just select it, but make sure this button is what is clicked. You just select it, and the moment you click on OK, so let me move it to sheet 7 before sheet 7. Click on OK. Now you can see that it's now before sheet 7 here, but it has created a copy. It has created a copy. It did not rather move, but what created what, a copy, because the original sheet is here and then the copy is now here. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. Okay, so please, if you are enjoying this video, don't forget, like us and give us your comment. Okay, so let's continue. We are still learning how to move and copy worksheets. Let me right click on any sheet again. Now let's go to move and copy. Now, as I said, maybe you want to move the entire data the entire sheet to a different workbook. So you just click on to this section here, this arrow here, you just click on it, then select new workbook. New workbook, that means you are going to create a new workbook for that particular sheet. So if you click on create data, that means if you click on create a copy, that means this data will be here in this workbook, but to create a copy of it in the new workbook that you are about to create. But if you ignore this, if you did not click tick, or if you did not select this, that means it will rather move the entire data in that particular sheet to the new workbook. So now let's try it. We're not going to create a copy, we are just going to move. So let's click on OK. Okay, so you can see that now a new workbook has been created, which is book 2, and then the new sheet has been inserted here with the same name. Don't forget, with the same name in the previous workbook. So let's go to the previous workbook. See that it is no more here. It has now been moved. So that is another way of moving your worksheet. Okay. Now let's go to how to we have learned how to delete. We have learned how to add. Now let's go to how to hide and unhide sheet. Maybe there's a sheet you want to hide from your client. You don't want people to see that sheet and then manipulate with it. So you're going to hide it. So you just click on that particular sheet that you want to hide. Let's say you want to hide sheet 3. You right click and then you go to hide. So let's select hide. So that sheet 3 is now hidden. So if we click on any of the sheet again, and you go to unhide, you're going to see that sheet 3 is there. So if you just want to unhide it again, you just click on OK, and sheet 3 will now return back. So that is how to hide and unhide sheet. Okay, now let's go to worksheet view. We have different view options. Now let's go to click view. Let's go to the view button. That's where we are going to use. Now maybe you have a data. Let me say let me try to add some data in this. Let me use this one. Let me add some data here. So let's say we have this particular data in this workbook. Now it may be in the case that you may have a data in this particular worksheet which may be more than, it may be you may have a data of, let's say, about 1,000 people, the names and ages of 1,000 people. So you can see that you are not going to just view them on one particular page, to be in different pages. So it will scroll through. If you want to go to the, let's say, the 900th person, you need to scroll through to the down before you can just work on it. But if you want to go back again, you still need to scroll up again. So that it's a tedious job. Okay, so we are going to learn how to open your workbook on the same your worksheet, one worksheet. You open it at the same time and you work on them differently, but it will still reflect. This is how we are going to do it. First of all, I've closed every workbook. It left with just this workbook. Then we go to new window. When you click on new window, it will now create another workbook of this with a different name. But you can see that here is book 1 is to book 2. That's book 1 of book 2. When you go to the other sheet, the other window, to be book 1 of book 1. Now you see that they all have the same data. They have the same data. So maybe you want to work with this on row 3, but there may be a data in row, let's say row 100, that you want to compare with this. So if you scroll to that place and then come back, you see that it will be a difficult task. So that's why we are going to use this format or this feature. You create a window, then you go to view again, then you go to view side by. So the two windows, you're going to view them side by side. So let's click on view. So you're going to see that we have two workbooks here. This is the book 1 of book 2, and this is book 1 of book 1. So any change that you make on any of the sheet, it will reflect on another sheet. So let's say, let me change this 12 to, let's say, 20. The moment you change to 20, you can see from the other sheet that the 20 is as around reflected. So you click on OK, the changes will be what? Will be affected. So this feature helps us to work on different rows, different columns at the same time without even scrolling through and our sheet. So maybe you have you can scroll to sheet, let's say 11. Okay, so you can see that the moment you scroll, you are now 11. This one also will scroll, but we don't want that one to be. We want each of them to work separately. So you can come to this section and click on scrolling. You click on this one. So you can see that when you click on it and you disable it, you can see that now this sheet is working separately. Book 1 of book 1 is working separately, and this one. So if you can just click here, then change, let's say, appear to Joe root. So hit on OK. You can see that you are not the row 5, sorry, row 4 is not visible here. We just make the changes here, but you can come here and scroll. You're going to see that the changes is now there. So this is one way of what? Comparing your sheets side by side and then doing the editing on different sheets at the same time. So the first thing is you first of all need to create a window. You create a new window, then you view them side by side. If you don't want to synchronize your scrolling, you just click on synchronous scrolling. Then it will not sync the scrolling. Each sheet will work separately. That is that. Okay, so you just click on view side by side again. Then you can see that it's no more viewing side by side again. So you just go there, and then the sheet 1 or sheet 2, just delete it or just close it. The moment you close it, now the sheet book 1 will now be book 1 of, or will just be book 1. That is how we can view your sheets side by side. Okay, we can also split your sheet into 2 or more, so that you can work on them separately as we did the windows. If you don't want to do the new window, you want to do the split. So where you want the split to take effect, you just place your cursor there. You make sure that cell is highlighted. So cell J12 is highlighted here. So the lines will be at this section, in between or before this cell, and then after this cell. So let's split it. Okay, that is it. So you can see that the divisions is here. So you can scroll through this separately. You can also come here and scroll through here separately. Okay, so you can work on the sheets at the same time. Okay, so you can see that the top one is working separately and the down one is also working separately. Okay, so if you make changes here too, it will also take effect on that particular sheet. Okay, so that is also another way of viewing your sheets side by side. Now maybe you are working on the sheet. Okay, let me undo this. You are working on the sheet. We have sheet. Let me delete this. Okay, let me just copy this one and then send it to a different sheet and show you something. So now you are working on this particular sheet here, and then you can see that the first row contains the name and okay, let me try to do something here. I just want to use this one to show you something. So don't worry if the names are repeated. I just want to show you something. Okay, so this okay. So you can see that the names, we have so many names here, but we have the heading. The headings are here. But the moment we scroll down, so that the heading will now be hidden. But we just want to track and make sure anytime we scroll, the heading will still be there. That's where we come to the what you call the freeze pane. So we are going to learn how to freeze the top row or the first column. Okay, so let's go to the view tabs or the view button and then go to freeze pane. So let's click on the small arrow just beside it to give you three options. The first one is freeze pane. We are going to talk about that one later, but let's talk about the freeze top row. So if you click on freeze top row, the top row will freeze. So let's click on it. Okay, so now you can see that there is a deep vertical horizontal line here. So now let's scroll down. You're going to see that the top row will now be freezed. Okay, so we can also do the same thing for the first column. Maybe the first column will deal with what? With the serial numbers. So you just want to track the serial numbers in connection with the data here. So you go to the same place and click on freeze first column. So you can see that the first column will now be freeze. So if you scroll, you're going to see that the first column will now be freezed. Okay, but let me go back to this particular data, the data we were working on. Now you can see that with this particular data, the top column here, so let's merge it and then try to add some data there. Say let's say my students. Okay, so we want to make sure you freeze these two columns. So when you come to the view option and then you select the view top row, it will only freeze the my student row. Then the rest will now be hidden. But we want to add this one to it. So this is what we are going to do. Not just this one, but also we want to also freeze the column at the same time. So we are going to freeze the rows and the column at the same time. So this is what we are going to do. We want to freeze the top here. So we'll click on this particular cell. So any cell above this particular, any row above this particular row will now be freeze if you use the new feature that I'm talking of. And any column before this cell will also be freeze. So this means that row 1 and row 2 will now freeze, and then column A will also freeze. So let's go there and then click. That's the first one, freeze pane. So you click on it. So if you click on it and you start to scroll, when you scroll down, you see that the two rows are now freeze. When you scroll to the left side, the right side, see that the other side is also freeze. So that is it. So that is it. Okay, so you can now go there and unfreeze. Okay, so maybe you want to freeze this whole data. Just place your mouse pointer here. So every row at the top here will freeze, every column here will freeze. So let's click on it and then freeze it. So if you go to here, it will freeze. Okay, and if you come to this section down here to the top one will also freeze. Okay, so that is how we freeze and unfreeze our worksheet. Okay, I hope you are enjoying this particular lesson. Please hit on the like button for us. Please, and give us your comment. I'm waiting for your comment. Seriously, guys, I'm waiting for your comment. Give us your comment. Now let's take the last session. That is how to save and open a workbook. Now, if you are saving a workbook for the first time, either you use the save as or the save. Everything is correct. Because if you are saving for the first time, if you use save or save as, to still give you an option to give it a name and create a location for it. But if you have already saved your work and you want to give it a resave, please don't use save as, because save as will also give you another option again to rename it and give an option to create a location. But we don't want that one to be so. We want just to save it to an existing document. So just that, with that one, you just use what save. That's Ctrl+S. Okay, so let me show you some few things under the saving session. So let's click Ctrl+S. We are saving for the first time. So when it comes to this session, if you're using a different version, of Excel, you are going to see a different interface. But this is 2016 version. So if you see this interface and it's different from yours, don't worry. It's because we're using a different version. So with 2016 version, this is where you're going to see it. Then we want to save it. So first of all, you need to browse and get a location where you want to save it. Maybe you want to save it in your documents, or let's say on your desktop. So you have the desktop here. Then you click on desktop here. Then you come to this section, give it a name. So let's say my Excel tuts 1, or sorry, 5. Excel tut 5. That's Excel tutorial 5. Okay. Then after that, you go to the save as type. So do you want to use open document worksheet, or you want to create in a different format? So just click on here. You have different Excel worksheets, Excel format that you can save your work, depending on the kind of data you have entered. Now we have the normal Excel workbook. For that one is by default, or is the normal one. That's XLSS. That's the file extension for that. So if you click on that, that means your work is in Excel work. That's a normal way. But maybe your work contains, let's say, some macros, some VBA codings. With that one, if you use Excel and you still add macros, your workbook will not work. So on that note, you need to select what? Excel macro enabled workbook. We also have different range of formats depending on the kind of work that you're doing. Maybe you want to save your work in such a way that you're going to upload it to let's say you have saved your contacts. Maybe you are working on a project, save your contacts and the names and contact of your customers. You want to just upload it to your, let's say, your Google contacts, and then save them automatically. With that one, you can also use the CSV. You can use Excel. But we are not going to do with that. We are just want to show you that we have different Excel format that you can save. But because of our work, we are not going to use any other format, but we are going to use the Excel workbook. So just click on Excel workbook, then click on save. Now you can see that your workbook is now saved with a new name. Now maybe you have worked on a project, you want to come back again and make some editing to it. So with that one, you go to file. But with this part, we are going to go to open. Click on open. Then you go to the location. So this is the current work that you have current Excel I've opened. But if you want to, if yours is not here, maybe you've opened for a longer time, you need to go to browse and go to location where you save it. Then you click on it to open for you. So that is how we save and open a workbook. Okay, so guys, I will end this particular lesson here, and I believe you enjoyed this lesson. So if you have any question, just hit on the the comment section for us. We are ready and we are available to help you. And please, if you have watched any of our videos on YouTube and you want to get in touch with us, please, you can just comment us, and we're going to give you our contact, and you chat us on any platform that's suitable for you, and we are ready to go. We are expert in graphic design, we're expert in Excel, desktop applications like SBA, like stock inventory, like web design, website, web browser design. There are so many things we can do with Excel. So please, if you want to get in touch with that, just hit on the comment section and we are good to go. Okay, so I'll end here and we are going to continue in another lesson. Thank you and bye bye.